Hello everyone, welcome to Katia Plant Scientist Garden. Today I, Dr. Katia Hougaard, am going to show you a very interesting botanical surprise. Are you ready to see it? Woo! Look at that! Could it be that I've magically shrunk a whole crop of watermelons so that they can fit in my hand? Well, not exactly. These little guys are called Cucamelons, and they are neither cucumbers nor melons, but they are related to both. They belong to the same botanical family of Cucurbitaceae, but they belong to their own genus that is different from cucumbers and melons. However, a lot of people call them Cucamelons because their flavor is like a cucumber and their appearance is like a miniature watermelon. This appearance of the watermelon means that they have a lot of really cute local names in the Spanish-speaking countries that they are native to. These cucamelons are native to the area of Central and South America, spanning southern Mexico down to Venezuela, and they naturally grow in forests. It is believed that before colonial times, indigenous people harvested and ate these delicious cucamelons, which are a great source of vitamin C. So they have many cute local names like sandita, which means little watermelon, and sandia de raton, which means watermelon for a mouse, which I think is just perfect because if you thought of a mouse holding this, it would look like a human holding a full-sized watermelon. Let's go ahead and try one. So as you can see, they're really nice and sour in a good way and quite tangy, almost like cucumber with a hint of lemon and lime, and they're full of very soft little seeds that are easy to eat. So refreshing. A lot of people just like to have these as a healthy snack, but they're also good cut up and added to salads, and you can also pickle them. Now let's have a look at the plants that these little guys came from. This is how cucamelons look when they're growing on the vine. They almost look like little decorations on a garland, don't you think? So I think that the cucamelon plant is a very decorative plant, and it's a great plant if you would like to screen a fence. Like say, for example, this very utilitarian chicken wire fence is a great habitat for growing cucamelons. They grow all summer here in the UK, and they have these attractive star-shaped leaves as well as a very decorative fruit. Now, growing cucamelons outdoors is my personal recommendation. I have tried growing them inside a greenhouse on vertical strings, and I find that they actually do much better outdoors in a warm, sunny place in a UK garden. That's because of several reasons. One is that the cucamelon prefers to grow in this kind of fan-shaped way rather than just growing vertically up and down on suspended wires or strings. In fact, I think it's even easier to find the fruits when they're growing in this kind of big fan-shaped green wall situation. Another reason lies in pollination. Our tomato greenhouse is not very insect friendly these days because we have a tighter roof, and we also burn incense to generally keep the bugs out because we don't want insect pests sneaking in there. Since tomatoes can self-pollinate, this is a non-issue for our tomatoes. However, when we grew cucamelons there last year, we found that the plants grew well, but we found hardly any fruits. This is like the number of fruits you might find in a week rather than the plentitude of fruits we have here. So what was the difference? That lies in their reproduction. Cucamelons they can self-pollinate, but they are not self-fertile. That means that they require insect pollinators to have access to the flowers in order to transfer pollen between flowers, between the male and female flowers, in order for fruits to develop. Let's have a closer look at a male and female flower, shall we? So this is a male flower. It's closing up a little bit since we're in the late afternoon, but do you see how it's a little yellow flower with a slim stalk behind it? This is a cucamelon flower that produces only pollen. Over here we have this one has fallen off, but this is a female flower. This one has fallen off, unfortunately, but this is how it looks attached to the plant. So see how there's a tiny cucamelon behind the flower. So insect pollinators can go from the male flowers and transfer the pollen up to the female flowers, or they can transfer it between multiple plants, which is even better. So growing the cucamelons outdoors is a highly recommended tip for success here in the UK. Another reason why it's all right to grow them outdoors is because they are quite pest resistant and heat and drought resistant, which makes them a great crop for our current heat wave and drought summer. You don't have to water them quite as religiously as you do with conventional cucumbers, which will start collapsing and looking very sickly if they don't get their daily watering. So they're lower maintenance in that way. One of the reasons why they don't have a lot of pests is because they come from a much more ecologically intense environment there in Central America, where they have much more kind of stronger pests that they have to defend against, so they probably just have stronger plant immunity in general. Also, a lot of the fungi, bacteria, and insects that might prey on them in their native habitat simply aren't present here. And because they're still quite a niche crop, it's unlikely that local pests and diseases have adapted to feed off the cucamelon. So if you're looking for a low maintenance, productive, and highly unusual vegetable to add to your garden, let me introduce you to the charming cucamelon. You will not be disappointed. Would you like to have one? Delicious, huh? So again, many thanks for joining me here on our latest botanical exploration, and as always, stay curious about plants.